It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margee McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margee McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, Margee. Hi, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. I listened last week and I realized I didn't say my name. And it's not like a million people are out there listening or forgetting my name or need to know my name. I just was like, just sounded funny for not saying it. So I'm Ramona
leaves me
Ramirez.
with an incomplete sentence. Like my dear friend and co-host, and you're like,
yes,
hi, Margee.
Exactly. And I'm like, hi, Margee. But I'm very happy to be here and I'm thrilled to see you. You are a salve, a balm, a healing balm.
Great. All of the above.
On my
you for
soul.
Me as well.
Thank you.
Yes, always.
Tears starting. Less than a minute in. It's all good. It's all good. That's why we're here.
It is. I mean, should we get into it? Because this one was a doozy.
This one was a doozy. Yeah. I'm real grateful that there was an absence of Hotel Ziggy. And I am grateful that there was an abundance of rage. I don't think that we see female anger on TV as often as we should. Ariana is pissed. She has every reason to be pissed. And seeing her male cast members react to her anger in the way that they did was super telling. We'll get there. But
some of the female ones too. Lala
yes.
Lala support.
Yeah, Lala's got some stuff going on. Before we start, though, if you could be so kind as to rate, review, subscribe, pass it on, turn on your downloads, because we love doing this for you every week. And if you love listening, if there's things that you wish you were hearing or don't want to hear so much of, we want to know all of it, you know? Yes, we welcome all feedback and constructive criticism that has been well thought out first. I'm just kidding. It doesn't even have to be well thought out.
Speak your mind, everybody. Speak your mind.
All right. So we're about to dive into Vanderpump Rules. I believe this is episode 10. Episode 10 of season 11. And it's called Line in the Sand.
Literal. This one literal.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I was watching this I was thinking about how Beverly Hills brings up all of my like family of origin issues and Vanderpump Rules brings up all of my like relationship issues. Like,
oh my God.
So, just keeping my therapist in business.
Totally. 100%. Just helping them make them car payments.
I mean, we start off light and then it gets pretty dense pretty quick, but we just start with I know you hate Brock, but this opening moment made me laugh so hard when Brock asked Summer if she's happy playing with her clay. And then he says, wait, what is it called? And Sheena goes, didn't you have Play-Doh in New Zealand? And he goes, we had mud.
I laughed at that. I did. I was all, okay. Yeah, we had mud.
He's just so simple and earnest sometimes. I really appreciate that about him.
He is. The first note I have is about the working out.
Yeah, no, the only thing before that is Joe. I wrote Joe in the juice. Schwartz and Joe are juicing pineapples, and Joe makes the observation that the pulp looks like Butter's poop. So I was like, what is this episode? What are we doing? But yes, then we go to the workout with just only thigh gaps.
I've just come from nearly a week with my family. And so whether I want it or not, whether I ask for it or not, whether I expect it or not, being around family for a week, basically like anything like food and body related or the workout segment probably triggered me way more than it would have had I not just come from being with my family. And listen, being with my family can be great, but it's still at the end of the day, being with your family and, my insecurities get elevated. I'm out of my own routine with my own things that give me sense of comfort and stability. I'm sensitive. And so watching the workout scene, whereas had it been a different time that I'd seen it, probably wouldn't have gotten in my head so much. But then when I was watching it after being sensitive and around my family, it's like, oh, do I want booty dimples? What kind of booty dimples? Do I have booty dimples? What do I need to do to get rid of them? Oh, well, my squats don't have that. So it was just complete mind fuckery. And it had nothing to do with the scene, but it just wants to feed into that thing, which is my past eating disorder, body dysmorphia bullshit. Comparison is the robber of joy. That comes up a lot in this whole fucking episode. Comparison being the thief of joy. Anyway, I just would have been a big old liar had I not talked about what that working out scene brought up for me.
Of
Because
course.
they all looked amazing. And
it makes total
again,
sense.
the answer to everything is in a fucking LA approved, LA endorsed body. That's the answer to everything.
If only. I mean, I feel
If
like this
only.
episode does like a really nice job of unraveling that myth, which I appreciate. But I also
Yeah,
totally
you're
hear
right.
what you're saying. It's like, because to me, this scene, I just breezed right by it. I was like, cute matching sets, who cares? But like, of course, I understand exactly what you're talking about because, you know, as they say, when you spend time with your family, you're having your buttons pushed by the people who installed them. So they're just like, there's no roundabout route. They go right for intentionally or not. And I'm sure, you know, it's the same on my end. It's just, you know, we literally have a lifetime of history with these people. There is no world where these people don't exist in it. So every hair trigger I'm on, you know, I was put there by or for them, you know?
Oh, God.
It's what keeps you close, but it's also what makes it like hard to be close because you do know everything about each other. So,
yep. 3 cheers for reality TV, man.
Amen. Ooh, what's that?
Oh,
What's
this
your coffee
is
drink? Cute.
It's a traditional size decaf cappuccino with oat milk cappuccino because I can't drink. I want like the smallest bit of coffee. And this is like heavy on the coffee taste, light on the coffee volume. And
I'm such a glutton. That looks like a miniature. Like it looks like it belongs in a dollhouse.
I love it.
It's adorable.
And I'll sip it for hours. Thank you.
Oh my God, that's amazing. All right. Then we get to Tom and Ariana's. And, you know, you were talking about female rage being, you know, explored in this episode. And I feel like like what Anne is who we all are until our rage catches up with us. And then we hit some sort of flex point like Ariana did with this breakup and it all comes out. So God bless Anne for being like giggling, cute and sweet and whatever. So she comes over in her little suit to interview with Ariana for the assistant job because she asked to do that. And Ariana said it probably isn't a good idea, but let's have the interview. Remember from last week? So she wasn't ever intending to hire her. I mean, Ariana does make a little jab saying that Sandoval didn't respect her enough not to sleep with her friend while she was at her grandma's funeral. And so Ariana didn't feel the need to outright reject Anne's inquiry about the job. But then Anne runs upstairs to check in on Tom. And that passive-aggressive monster does not look up, makes no eye contact, like essentially gives her the silent treatment. He makes like one, you know, she asks him directly, "Are you okay?" And he goes, "Yeah." He's 41 years old. Like he's behaving like a 5-year-old. It's disgusting. It's inexcusable. And I see Anne giggling, being like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Oh my God, Anne, in 10 years, you're going to be so mad about this. Some man is going to do something mean to you. And this is going to come flooding back along with every other time that you've been treated poorly." Because that was just, again, I say borderline abusive. You can't treat an employed human being like that. I mean, you can, but you're a bad person if you choose to do so.
You're a bad person. You're a toxic boss.
And if that's what he's doing on camera, I mean, we later get a sense of what he may have done off camera.
Oh my God.
It's fucking gnarly.
So you said he's 41.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I want to, because my cousin and I were having this conversation. And by conversation, I mean, we were like texting about Tom Sandoval and she really appreciates his villainous. Like she doesn't watch reality shows for the reason why a lot of people don't watch reality shows. It is insane to think about sitting down and giving your precious time to watching people shout and be, you know, on the scale of like fool to hella toxic. Like I understand why some people don't get the appeal of it. I'm here to say, obviously, we're both here to say that we wholeheartedly love the genre and feel that it offers a lot of value, you know, at the very least. I was like, these people are too old to be acting like this. And she's like, what? How old are they? I'm like, girl, late 30s, early 40s. And she was all, oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Not that there's an age limit on acting a fool, but
Clearly.
at some point, you have to ask yourself, do I want to continue this behavior? Is this behavior working for me? I mean, clearly it's working for all of them because they're making money on this show. But you know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah. And it's what I always say,
in
like,
the real world.
Yeah, being an adult is a choice. Telling the truth is a choice. Like once you reach a certain age, you have to choose to do things. And not many of these guys are choosing to be adults. And Tom Sandoval is just choosing to be a petulant child. And it's so I mean, I can't believe how shocked I am by it. But this entire episode, every single time I was like, oh, you've made me hate you more. Oh my God, you've offended me again. Like, I didn't even know it was possible.
It's because he's missing the most blatant, neon, lit up, massive scale point. There's no way to miss this point unless your brain cannot compute the point in which, I don't know. I don't know.
You know, watching this episode, I was like so confused because he's so aggressively in the wrong. Oh my God. So I went back and I read the apology he issued on Instagram like a year ago. It was a year ago. And it was like, I'm so sorry to Ariana. She didn't deserve any of this. She, I disrespect. Like he was so clear on everything that he had done wrong or whatever PR person wrote that for him was. But clearly that's just not who he is. None of that remorse was sincere. Anyways, we can keep going because I just have a million pages of like all caps screaming into my notes, just being like, is this guy for real?
Yeah, agreed. Ariana shares with us, we were not given a choice. We weren't given a choice. We weren't told, like, in this segment, you will hear disturbing things. You may choose to leave the room or remove small children. No, we learn against our will, against my will. I'm assuming it's against your will. Anne shares that she sometimes cleans up his dirty clothes, and this includes his dirty underwear. And Ariana says that he doesn't change his underwear for sometimes days at a time. Barf, A. B. Ariana is suffering no fools. She's all, oh, okay, is this how it's going to go? Look out. And she's lighting that match and she doesn't give a fuck what oil refinery is behind her. And I kind of love it. Like, she's going to shovel all of his dirt at us. And there is nothing he can do about it. And because he has no sympathy from any of us, we're just like, ew, yeah, he does. Ew.
It's so weird because she said that and I was like, that makes sense. Like, it didn't just seem like a random slam. I was like, he does seem like the type who would just like sweat over and over again into the like netting in his gym shorts. Anyways, he's disgusting. I know.
No.
Then we get a confessional from Tom where he says that he whines, I can't deal with this guy. He goes, Ariana already got all of our friends. Now she has to take my assistant. She could have anybody she wants. And I was like, same to you, dude. You could have cheated with anybody you want, but you chose her best friend and you chose it to do it in your own home. And this whole notion of like, she got all our friends.
Yeah,
no,
dude.
You lost all of your friends. She didn't do anything. You did the thing and you lost your friends because you suck. So like, he's just he made incomprehensible choices. And now he's all upset because he thinks Ariana did something to put him in the doghouse. He put himself there.
He's a victim. He's victimizing himself.
It's
he
gross.
Just can't. It's disgusting. It's truly disgusting.
And Ariana does the right thing. She tells Anne, this is not the time for me to hire you. Like, you're lovely, but like because of Tom's his temperament could lead to, petty retaliation. This isn't it right now. So everything's fine.
Yeah. And she has every right. She has every right to hire Anne.
Yeah.
And she still has enough. So she has enough wherewithal to know that that's not appropriate,
Yeah. Oh, and
so instead, she tells us that he doesn't change his underwear.
Listen,
for 3 days.
Gross.
Fuck.
But he was standing at the top of the stairs, like moping and eavesdropping. Like, again, that's the shit I did when I was a child.
Right.
It's so shocking to me that he's like a middle-aged man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Then we go to Schwartz visiting Sheena and Brock. And he brought Summer Moon a hat that was clearly for like a grown adult. It was gigantic, but it was sweet that he brought her a little gift. And then he claims he's having baby fever. I call bullshit. He says he's sure he'll be a good dad and he hopes to be a
I call
DILF.
bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's one of those dads who's like, maybe because he's like a big kid. So I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
The things like,
I don't
know. I don't know what people think
know.
dad is. It's a comprehensive thing. It's not just playmate. It's like doing paperwork, doctor visits. Like there's a lot of elements to dad. That's not just like cute, affable, nice guy.
It's having the skill set to set boundaries because Tom is such a people pleaser. Tom Schwartz is such a people pleaser. And he's so conflict avoidant. Like not just regular man conflict avoidant, but like the worst kind of conflict avoidant where he goes from 0 to like straight up abusive. Like the clips we saw of he and Katie's marriage were awful. You know, like he's an emotional terrorist when he is activated. My point is that children need to feel safe. They feel that way with boundaries. Boundaries need to be set with love and with intention. I just feel that he is ill-equipped to whatever. It's not my business, but I hope that he examines a lot of things in his life before he decides to have a kid.
Who knows? I mean, I will say like being present is like, that's the mark of a good dad. So I feel like he would want to be there. So that's something. But
true. Okay.
But then Sheena gets in a cold plunge and I was like, what's happening? How was that a cold plunge? Did it look cold? She didn't look cold. She just sat in it.
No, she sat in it. And
aren't you supposed to shiver and like not be able to breathe? Yeah.
I feel like that was just like
it's a box of water.
It was like, is that a bathtub outside? It's either brilliant or it's insane. It's hot. But yeah, it did not seem like a cold plunge. Just to back it up really quick.
Sorry.
No, it's not you. When Sandoval, the reason why he had the baby fever is because
Schwartz.
He says he wants, Schwartz. Sorry. Yeah. Who did I say?
You said Sandoval.
Sandoval. Oh God.
Equally terrifying.
Equally terrifying, but no. Schwartz has baby fever. He says to Brock and Sheena, I want your life. And I was all, damn. And this came about from like Tom that morning or the morning of the confessional that fits with this scene. He woke up that morning and he engaged in behavior that I like to call emotional cutting, which is when you're scrolling through Instagram and you're seeing all these people's outsides and it makes your insides feel not good enough and like shit. And so then, of course, you look at all the things on your outside and you need to change all of those things too. Social media can be so violent on one's soul and on one's psyche. It can be for me. And I am middle-aged. Like, I am not happy about the fact that if I'm in a bad place and I'm on Instagram or social media, it can fuck with my head. Again, comparison is the robber of joy. And the grass is always greener. And social media is a curated view into people's lives. But when I can relate to people on this cast or people on these shows, I like to admit it because all roads lead to Bravo and we're all humans at the end of the day. And I could relate to Tom Schwartz. My humanity is not that different from his.
Yeah. I mean,
goddamn.
No, it's true. It's true. Are you weeping?
I don't know. I have a cry angle ready just in case. Love Candace. I'm going to miss Candace, dude.
I know.
She was one of my favorite reasons to watch that show.
I know.
Didn't like all the body shaming she did. Did not appreciate that at all.
No, but
Don't call Ashley wide. That's fucked. Don't call anybody wide. Just don't comment on people's bodies as a put down. Everything else, I loved her.
Yeah. She was a great reality TV star,
100%.
Including her like body shaming. That's sort of like part of what made her like an unhinged, crazy person. I loved her.
I just wanted better for her. Like,
she didn't want it for herself. She had years to correct it because she did it the first time was years ago. And then it became her signature of like, okay, neck, okay, ankles. Like,
okay, ankles. Yeah. Like, come on.
It's fine. Then this was just so weird. Brock is like, he's really stirring shit up, and I kind of love him for it. Tom Schwartz says that the coming to the West Side is like a gulp of fresh air. And then he immediately relates it to like sex with Katie. And he explains they didn't always have it much at the end of their marriage. And then once they had, they wondered why they didn't do it more often. And Brock goes, well, she is doing it more often, just not with you. And I was like, good. Truth teller. You know what I mean? And Schwartz had plenty of sex outside his marriage when he was married. So,
yeah.
you know.
Oh my
fine.
God. Statistically, it wasn't that. Oh my God.
So
oh my
unpleasant.
God.
So unpleasant.
So unpleasant.
It's not
Good
cute.
Lord.
It's not cute.
It's really not. It's not.
Ariana is at Katie's, and she's reporting that she interviewed Anne and later found Anne crying after Tom had berated her for having the interview off camera. Tom waited for the cameras to go away and said such hateful shit to Anne that she wept. And it sounds like later on, Anne was under the impression she was fired. But
Yeah.
Tom, in what I consider abusive vagueness, didn't fire her, he just said, let's take time off or something. Like, and again, it puts that person in such a horrible position. Because do you ask in the moment for clarification? Like, he knows who Anne is. She's not going to be like, I just need to know for sure. He did that on purpose, and it was so fucking cruel. And he's trying to punish Ariana, but he's hurting this innocent woman. And like, he's just so fucking awful. Anyways, that's
he's engaging in emotional terrorism.
For sure.
It's disgusting. It's
for sure
emotional warfare, and he's repugnant.
We also find out Ariana had 6 shots of caffeine already that day and wanted more. And I was like, uh-oh, that's a lot of caffeines. I drink a lot of caffeine, but I was like, whoa.
Oh my God, I would be unceremoniously ousted from my household and probably my family and probably the city of Oakland if I was on 6 shots of caffeine and then craved more. I'm a menace on caffeine. I'm a fucking menace.
I love
Any
it,
other substance, great.
Mm-hmm.
Caffeine,
I love it so much.
Nobody want that.
That's why you're drinking your like adorable demi-tasse of decaf.
My decaf.
Yeah.
Diet Coke, I will drink caffeine, but I don't drink like a 6-pack of Diet Coke a day. Who gives a shit? This is not about what I consume that has caffeinated.
I don't even know why I brought it up. It just seemed like 6 was a lot for it to still be light outside. Anyways, we're back. Now we're back with Scheana and Brock and Schwartz, and Sheena's pissed at Brock for revealing that she'd tracked Katie's location. And that's what led her to realize she was in bed with Max that night. And Sheena's like really mad, big mad, as the kids would say. And then Brock reminds Scheana that last year, Katie wanted to watch her life burn to the ground. So for context, that was when at Sheena's wedding, Schwartz had kissed Raquel under Sheena's watch, and Scheana was fine with it. And I just want to point out that that was when Katie was newly divorced. So everyone's all pissed at Ariana for having big feelings. Last year, Katie wanted to burn Scheana to the ground. This year, she's joking around with fucking her ex's best friend. And it's cute and it's fine. Like, give Ariana some time. Like, let the woman go through the grief cycle. Like, everyone is so, like you said, everyone is so impatient with anger. It's one of the things that I loved a lot about the death doula training I did is that part of the job is to just witness the emotions of the bereaved, and anger is a huge one. And when you rush people through it, it takes longer. When you just sit with the discomfort of not being able to solve it and letting someone rage, it passes. And everyone here is trying to solve it and get to the next step and get over it and release it and forgive. And it's yes, she'll get there. This was 2 months ago. And I was just thinking, reminding myself, this was her whole life that blew up. And when this happened, they were in couples therapy. She thought they were resolving problems in their relationship. She, who did not want children, was in the process of an incredibly intense hormonal injection series to harvest her eggs so that she could maybe give him a child one day. And the whole time he was sleeping with her best friend. So the rage she has is justified on so many levels. Lala called him he's a douche. Sure. It's no, a douche is someone who does this 2 months into a relationship. 10 years owning property together, planning a family. the rage is right-sized as far as
Right.
I'm concerned. And everyone here needs to like look at themselves and see why they get so itchy when someone is having anger.
Yeah, they don't want to let her have it. No, Margee, that was just like dissertation worthy. Publish that et al. I bid, whatever those.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
No, I'm just
that
get a whole
included the
thesis, PhD, VPR
seriously,
PhD.
you did right. VPR PhD, PhD in VPR, because Bravo this is life. They are so impatient to have Ariana process it because they're ready for it to be over. And no one is extending her any grace except for like Katie.
And Allie.
And Allie, yeah.
I like Allie.
God, I do too. I like Allie. She really is an amuse-bouche to all these unamusing douches. You know what I mean? Like she's a charming young lady.
She seems like a genuine sweetheart, you know?
She
like,
really does.
James
Who doesn't
really, I hope he doesn't fuck that one up. But if he does, she'll be on to someone lovely because she's amazing. And
she deserves the world, as far as we know. And yeah, they're uncomfortable. Ariana's timeline, which for some, like, it's not like we're like 5 years down the road and she's still talking about this. We're months.
After
we're like
10 years.
Right.
And not a slow trickle to break up like Katie and Schwartz. A fucking traumatic reveal.
Right.
And not verbal reveal. She learned about this by watching them.
Yep.
On camera.
On camera.
Ew.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So when I'm uncomfortable, I got to look and see why I'm uncomfortable. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not uncomfortable because of what somebody else is doing. I'm uncomfortable. It might seem like that I'm uncomfortable because of someone else. And there it is. But like I'm in these relationships where they have established friendships, for over 10 years, just I gotta look at myself. And I don't know. It seems like everyone's really uncomfortable with how long it's taking her, and that's not their business how long it's going to take her.
No, and you're right on. They're prioritizing their own comfort over her grief process. And that is unfair to start with, but it's also impossible. They're not going to get what they want by telling her that they want it to be different. If they're real friends, they just need to be by her, not let her like wallow in these feelings, but they have to happen. I don't know. It's just this whole episode. Sheena says it, Lala says it, Tom says it, that like Ariana got everything. And it's like, no, she didn't. This is the most beautiful example of how money, property, and prestige do not have any effect on pain. You can't solve your pain. She does. She does have all the endorsements. She does have a shit ton of money. She has the public sympathy. She has like gigs all over the place. And look at her. She's grieving. It didn't take any of it away. She loved Tom, and that sucks because he screwed her, and everyone gets impatient with that too, of like, well, we all hate Tom. We agree that you're right. You win. Winning doesn't have any effect on pain. You can be so right, and it doesn't shorten the grief process 1 second, in my experience.
Again, comparison is the thief of joy. They are looking at all of the things that she got out of a traumatic situation, a very painful, trust-shattering situation, like surreal situation. How do you trust? How do you trust after that?
That's right. They don't talk about what she lost. They don't talk about security, love, trust, her vision of her future. She lost things that like are, invaluable. Right. And those are gone. They're destroyed. Tom did that.
Because I remember you said, was it last episode or the episode before last? You said, if you'd asked, it was when Ariana was talking to her about getting Dancing with the Stars. And you said, Ariana would have traded all of these things just to not have her relationship blow up, to have her partner not cheat on her with their mutual best friend. And I was like, God, really? It's like, no, I'm projecting because I think Tom's a loser. So like, I personally would rather be in Chicago, have Dancing with the Stars, a battery commercial, a trash bag commercial,
Whiteout
whatever.
commercial or whatever.
Yes, like all of that shit. But I'm not her. You know,
Well,
she'd
and
rather.
it's not about Tom. It's about the
Right.
concepts. She lost trust, and you can't.
Yes.
We don't have enough life left to
Right.
rebuild that. Like, you know, now you're
Yeah.
just different. You're not going to
Now
trust
you're.
anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is going to be suspect all the time because, especially
Yeah.
when you didn't see something like this coming, good luck anyone. Like, I'll never have my guard down because I'm just always going to be like, are you this? Are you doing that? Like, I didn't see it before. So now I have to spend every minute of my relationship. I mean, obviously it will soften over time, but no time has passed.
No time.
So
No time. I mean, 3 months is like.
No, after 10
dust
years.
is barely settling. You're still like, oh my God, I'm living in the same house as this person. All of my stuff that was in that room is now in a Target crate here. Where's that other thing? Oh, I can't just go downstairs like I normally could. Oh, is he gone? Like, can I come out of my room? Like, whatever.
And it's not just one trauma of the breakup.
Yeah.
Tom Sandoval is such a piece of shit. He's extending the traumas by making her this bullshit offer on the house. So she has to get like a forensic accounting of furniture so that she doesn't get fucked over. Like, he just continues to disrespect her. We all know he's in the wrong, but Tom Sandoval doesn't think he's in the wrong. He thinks everyone should just be over it and let's move on. You know, wipe my hands clean out the door. But
they're impatient. They're impatient with it. And what he's going to learn and what we're all seeing is that, like, anger, it needs a target. I think we all know that underneath anger is hurt to a varying degree, a shit ton or a little bit. But if there's anger, there is some hurt underneath it. When you're in hurt and in pain, it's not powerful feeling. You can't really hold yourself up. You need to sit, you need to cry. It's all it's not passive, but it's God, I'm not being very clear. My point is, anger is pain that's been activated. So Ariana is incredibly powerful right now because instead of, like, she is to survive as a coping mechanism, her anger is activated. It's giving her power. She has unlimited resources and energy, like to bring her interior designer in and be like, let's go through every fucking fork. I got all the time in the world because I'm angry as hell and it's giving me as much energy as like 10 rails of Coke. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she needs this anger right now in order to survive and get through this. Because once you get to the pain underneath, that's when you can't get out of bed for a week and you can't shower and
she has to get out of bed to keep all these endorsement deals that everyone thinks are making her happy. So she has to get out of bed to go to Dancing with the Stars to fulfill her shooting commitments. Like, so I think you're right. She needs to call on that anger that her body will move. It's and just,
And like we learned in 12-step rooms years ago, I don't necessarily agree with calling things character defects any longer, but that is what they were called in the program. Like, we would list our character defects as reasons why we did some behavior and how that behavior.
Al-Anon, they call them character defenses, which I like.
Defenses, yes, that I like.
But defects is what it is in the book, yeah.
Right. So, like, anger could be seen as a character defect in one room, but yes, character defense, like, they are assets. Our negatives can be assets. They are ways that you can cope in a way that lets you not just, like, not cope. So it's just.
I mean, they
every
say that
shadow has a light. Every light has a shadow.
Yeah, and they say that any character defect is just an asset run rampant. It just, like you said, it needs boundaries put on it.
Yeah, it needs boundaries put on it.
Yeah.
But right now, it's her anger is completely normal. I get it. It's what she needs in order to survive.
Yeah, and they also say, that your character defects are lifted when they stop serving you. Mm-hmm. So she needs her anger right now to, like, be remotely functioning in all of the places where she's obligated right now.
Exactly.
But I think,
Exactly.
yeah, I love that reminding that it's like, it's true. And anger is an expression of pain. Resentment is an expression of fear. It's all really soft things that are happening under like the big, hard, harsh
Right.
angles. It's really,
Exactly.
and you just, when you're that raw, you're like you're saying, you can't surrender to the soft things all the time, or you'll just become,
Right.
I've grown into my couch on a couple of occasions with breakups and losses and that
Completely.
kind of stuff. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it's not to say there is tremendous power in vulnerability, and there is a tremendous power in surrendering to your pain and having a good cry or posting up in your bed for a week when you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that, like, when you have to function in the real world and go earn a paycheck and go do whatever, you know, and that anger inside of you can turn the car on, whereas the just straight tears can't. There, it serves a purpose. It serves a
Yeah,
purpose. It's
especially in
valuable.
having to be at events with your ex, like to have to be
To have
in
to
a
work with
space
him.
with Tom Sandoval. Of course, she got mad and got rageful with him because otherwise she's around a group of people who aren't safe, as she says at the end of the episode. It's not safe for her to break down and scream like, you stole from me my trust, you stole from me my future. She
Right.
can't, these people are all going to just tell her to get over it or just let
Right.
him get away with being a dick. Anyways, but I've basically talked us through the entire episode with that little tangent. But
I mean, this episode was very poignant in this way.
it
It
really
was,
was.
yeah, it truly.
And all centered around a water tasting.
Oh my God. I mean,
So
as I live and breathe.
here we
As
are.
I live and breathe. Yeah.
Did you catch the little like hushed private jet that flew over before the water tasting event? It made me laugh
Yes.
so hard because it's like slightly
Absolutely.
classier than Southwest, but like we're still in the valley.
Oh my God.
And then Martin the
Uh,
waterman, Ariana later accused Tom Sandoval of like doing the most. And I was like, I would say Martin the waterman is doing the most.
it was yeah. It was, he was a caricature.
He to me was like the definition of like hustle racketeering. Like he's just some like weird, super fit German man who
Totally.
decided that he'll put some jewels on the outside of a green bottle and say it's cuvee and costs $1,000. And when someone asks one question, Lala's like, how many are in the world? And he's like, I don't know. Because there are none in the world. It's not real. What you do isn't real. But
Oh my
good for
God.
you for like fucking making a job out of this. And Lala goes out to greet him and she goes, how are you? And he goes, living the dream. And Lala says something like, water's my jam. I've been sober almost 5 years. And he goes, okay, great. This is great. I love this. I was like, you're not listening. You're just saying words, Martin.
Living the dream. Living the dream. I'm in James Kennedy's backyard in the valley underneath the flight path of a flight that probably goes from Burbank to Vegas about 20 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere in the back are hibiscus that are electrified and can possibly shock you. And here comes our friend wearing the top to a fucking dirty knockoff elf costume. What the fuck is Schwartz wearing?
That
What
was
the fuck is he
he
wearing?
looked ill. It made him look ill. He did not look well. And he said he got dressed up, but he was still wearing like the slides with his toes that come too far over the top, like everything. I was like,
Yeah.
you're not dressed up. And then there's one shot of him in the slides, and then from there on out, it's his like bare marsupial feet just like padding around on the ground. He has like those long toes that
Oh
look
my
like they
God.
could grip a
No.
tree. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
they're simian. Yeah.
That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I'm not into a simian. I don't want to see simian man feet.
I also just
I
want
don't want
to.
to
I
see
don't want to see
simian
your
man feet.
feet. Like, give me a fucking break.
And listen, and I say this as someone that I have thought so many times about starting my own slide company only. I love pool slides so much. I have velvet ones, I have Laker ones, I have a ton of them. I love pool slides. I love them. I would have, worn them on my wedding day had I found the right one. So like I understand and support his affinity for a slide. And I think that there could have been a way to do that right, but that's just the whole thing. He just,
He looks clammy.
he
You know what I
looks,
mean?
I'm going to get a little bit, I could be complete. It just looks like there's some
Kidney failure, like organ failure?
No,
Oh.
opioid abuse.
Oh. Well, they're
You
one and the
know,
same at a certain point.
you know,
Yes,
like
his organs are probably processing
I it
lots
just
of chemicals.
he's pale, he's just always a little foggy, and I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to make light, but he's just something's amiss. I mean, they're all not processing years and years of trauma and dysfunction. So
Yes.
I don't know
Oh
what I
boy.
expect. Everyone's doing their best.
They
Everyone's doing
are.
their best. Everyone's going to show up to a water tasting.
I'm going to come to you with how you pitch Sutton to me as a potential good person. I'm going to keep pitching Brock to you as a potential good person
Please,
because he
please.
approached Katie and immediately apologized. He said, I'm sorry, not I'm sorry if I, not I'm sorry that you, I'm sorry. I was gossiping about your personal life. He did say I was wasted, but it seemed like a genuine apology. And then Katie said, perhaps, we're all even now because I gossiped about his personal life, about being a total deadbeat dad. But I thought that on both sides, I thought that was like a lovely exchange where he genuinely said, I'm sorry, and acknowledged what he did. And she said, I guess we're even, moving on.
There were times, and I thought of you, and there were times last night when Brock really, I was all, oh, okay, I see
Yeah.
it. I see it. And then he would do something later to erase it, but I didn't.
Yes. There was a
And no
moment at the
one's,
beach where I was
no
like, oh
one's perfect.
no,
Yeah,
you ruined
exactly.
my
Yes,
case. Okay.
exactly.
But
You
this
ruined
moment I
it.
was like, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, And then Martin does like camera blocking for the scene. And I do love the editors for leaving it in because Lala's like, where do you want me to stand? And he was like, oh, come stand here so the cameras are right on me. And he was like,
I
it
missed
was,
that.
oh, I did not. I was like, sir, you are something else,
Oh my
Martin.
God.
And then we get into this Martin segment where Martin tells us that water on the planet has been the same for thousands of years. None of that made sense. I don't know what he's talking about. He said it might be dinosaur piss. Ha ha ha. He serves them sparkling cum. He says
God, that was disgusting.
it's not, it's just like, it's salt water, as James said.
It's salt water.
So,
Right.
ha 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 ha. I don't know. This whole event, I would have been so mad if I had gone out of my way to drive an hour to Burbank to be served a glass of sparkling cum and then told
Yeah.
that something was
Yeah.
cuvee when it was like probably just Brita filtered water. Anyways,
Honestly.
what is this event?
Honestly. I know there was a lot of buildup, like 2 episodes, because I know last episode they talked about it a lot, and now it's happening. And James's backyard is not where I want to be.
No, it
I don't
is
want to be in
not.
James's backyard.
It is no Villa Rosa. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
it's not Villa Rosa.
In
It's
a
not Villa
backyard where
Rosa.
we're used to seeing that kind of like
Yeah.
grounds and
Oh
estate.
God. And then like when Katie first gets there, this is at the beginning of this scene, but when Katie first gets there and Hippie is jumping and she's like, no, no. And Hippie continues to jump. I'm like, this is what I was talking about last week.
And I
The
thought that
dog
was
needs some boundaries.
And also Schwartz, step in. Schwartz stood there with his back to her while she's like, hippie, no. And it's like jumping and nipping at her arms. And he just stood there. And I was like, dude, pull the dog off. We saw that the dog loves you. Oh,
he's
just
literally
hopeless.
like, he's wet. He's a wet noodle for sure.
Yes. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. I don't know why I would expect anything else. So then Martin leaves and the girls go inside. And then James asks Sandoval about tea. Sandoval is just so gross. And he goes, we're chilling. And James asks, are you seeing anyone else? And then Sandoval gets all like cryptic and creepy and says like, I've met some people. And I'm like, why are you being so vague and cryptic and gross here? And then somehow at the beach, directly in front of Ariana, you have no problem announcing that that a girl you met is taking you to a singles. Like he did zero things right this episode. Not a one. And I was looking. I was like, where is the humanity in this man? Nowhere to be found in this hour. That's for sure.
Mm-mm.
He claims to help when the pizza's here. He's just everything about him just bothered me. His pants bothered me. I don't know why. But I did love, there was a genuine moment where he says to James, I'll help you with the pizza. And James was like, you don't have to, but he goes anyway because he's, doesn't listen. And he walks through the house and sees Ariana and just goes like, oh shit. And it was like the most honest, the only honest moment we got from him the whole
Fully.
episode. And I was
Yes,
like, there you
yes,
are.
yes.
You're scared of her. And you should be, which indicates to me, you know how much harm you've caused. So the rest of this just makes it like extra disgusting.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. He chases down the delivery driver for ranch dressing, trying to be a hero. It's so stupid.
Why is he doing the most? He's doing the most. Yeah, it's true. Like he was doing it to try to be like the hero. I'm going to get the ranch.
And I
I'm
get
going
that
to
he's
get the ranch.
You know what's so fucked up is that I get that he's uncomfortable. He is the bad guy and he's facing the princess. You know, he's in the space with Ariana, who everyone loves, rightly. If he had been at all humble about that, if his confessional on the other side of this had been, I was running after the ranch dressing because I'm so uncomfortable. I don't know how to be in this group anymore. I've ruined everything. So I got focused on ranch dressing. I thought I might be able to win my friends back with ranch. I'm so broken. But instead, he says, it's hard for me to be a wallflower because Ariana's making all these comments about me. And he says he's trying to rebuild relationships and blaming Ariana for stacking the deck against him, putting pressure on people to choose her. And I just started screaming into my notes. Like, she only said she cannot be close friends with people who are close with you. She cannot risk him having access to anything else about her that he might carelessly destroy, because that is what he did with everything she gave to him for 10 years. It is self-protection on Ariana's part. It has nothing to do with laying out an ultimatum. And also, you are owed nothing. You betrayed her in the most intimate way and destroyed her life as she knew it. See yourself through her eyes and expect to be treated accordingly. You suck. You're not doing anything. All this talk about making efforts, you're expecting everything. You extend your hand a tiny bit and you expect everyone else to jump to reach for it. I was listening to this speaker the other day who was talking about how the Sistine Chapel in the painting, Adam's hand is like all limp, his wrist is bent, and he's like barely holding his arm out. And God, or whatever you assume the spirit realm to be, is like fully extended, like every muscle taut, desperately reaching. And Adam's just like, where is God? And God's like, oh my God. And yeah, it gave me that vibe where Tom Sandoval is just like sitting back, relaxing, and anyone who, like, there's so much room. I am reaching out to him saying, just talk about how ranch became your focus because you feel terrible. But instead, it's Ariana's fault. It's everyone else's fault. It's not his fault. Anyways, I just talked for an hour.
No, I love
about
that.
ranch.
But what you said about ranch, I am so glad that it is on the internet in perpetuity, because it was fucking brilliant. And it's true. It's exactly true. And this is the thing, like we both had our moments, especially talking about this cast, where we're like, God, I think I did it with Sheena a couple weeks ago, last week, where it's like, God, Katie, I wish that I had told you at the moment, this is what was going on. Not like, oh, I don't remember. Oh, it was nothing. Oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, just don't defend yourself. Just share your humanity. Share with me what made you afraid to tell me in that moment. If you're honest with me, I can handle it. It's when you're defensive and you try to take me for a fool that I'm going to go, whoa, what the fuck? But if you come to me and you're just honest and you're scared and you're vulnerable, my humanity will see your humanity.
100%.
We'll make it. We'll make it. But not when you try to, you just want everyone to be friends with you. You just want everyone to take your side. It's like, dude.
And also, if that was the case, that would be fine. Remember what you did to put us all here? Like, he is just he has separated himself from that series of events. Because I guess since Raquel blocked him on Instagram, that whole event is dead to him. But it's not to anyone else that it destroyed. So whatever.
Yikes, 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 yikes. The only other note I have, I have some more, but Brock impressed me with sharing a mature perspective on the infancy of rebuilding relationships.
Loved it. I loved Brock
I
here.
Too.
And I think Tom Sandoval is the perfect audience for Brock, because Brock is kind of a meathead. He doesn't know the difference necessarily between Play-Doh and mud. But Tom Sandoval, he is the right mouthpiece to, if anyone could reach Tom Sandoval, it would be Brock. And yet it had no effect because Tom Sandoval's a piece of shit. But I'm glad that you appreciated
I
this
did.
conversation. I thought it
I
was
did.
good. Yeah.
I did too. I did too.
Because Tom talked about how T had told Tom that Ariana had approached her to say, don't date a 41-year-old narcissist.
Yes, that's
And
right.
Sandoval, just hateable on hateable, says, I thought that was really tacky. I was like, oh my God, you know what's tacky? Sleeping with your girlfriend's best friend in your bed when she's at her grandmother's graveside. That's tacky.
Yeah.
But that's when Brock jumps in and says,
Yeah.
you're still in the infant stage of figuring out how to manage this, and maybe you should have a conversation. And Tom Sandoval cuts him off and says, maybe everyone should just chill out. And Brock held his temper. In that moment, if I was Brock, I would have been like, you know what, dude, fuck you. Good luck living your own life. I am the only
Yeah.
person trying to help you, and you are treating me like shit. But
Yep,
instead,
yep.
he very measuredly said, I'm just trying to help you with T. If you want Ariana to lay off T, you need to have a conversation with Ariana, not with us. Yay.
I know.
I was like, yes.
He really did. He impressed me. I was all, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He impressed me.
And Sandoval just kept like a child pushing back. Sandoval's like, well, I don't talk to Ariana. And Brock says, well, you need to figure that out. And Sandoval goes, I love how people put that on me. Everything is on you. You created this mess. You have to clean up this mess. You have to wait until everyone has processed their feelings in their own time, not in your time. You have to wait. You have to do everything and then you have to wait. That's what you've put. That's the situation you're in. That's the mess you made. And as long as you deny that that's your situation, you're always going to be miserable. And you're going to be whining at every party and stomping out with your purses. Loved when he left. He gathered his 2 purses and was like, I'm needing. Can't with
What
him.
were those? Were those like mini coolers?
I swear to God, didn't they look like tiny, like little, like clutch bags?
Yeah, they were bigger than a Dop kit, but like, yeah, they were like.
It looked like 2 Kate Spade, like,
Oh my God.
Spring season. Anyway, he's a
Seriously.
ridiculous monster.
Tom Schwartz and Katie's conversation really, like, yikes. That one really, bleh. Tom looks crushed. They're talking about how she hooked up with Max and Katie rationalizes it. It was like a moment of like looking back at their history and like, you know what? Fuck that guy. Yeah, he's his best friend. Fuck him. And it's like, I can see both sides. I
can. And so could they, which is what I thought was like so lovely.
Yeah.
Because, and at Schwartz, he even introduced it teasing her, saying like, you were a dirty dog with Max and I'm not mad at you. And Katie said she's trying on the Schwartz pants and try to walk a mile in them. And I loved that she explained it by saying, I may just have had an extreme fuck it mentality because she had just heard about Tom kissing Sheena. And at that point, it's just, she really did behave with tons of grace and decorum. But with that news, I don't know if I would have turned it down either. You know what I mean? It's just like, why am I working? It's my whole struggle. We talk about it all the time. Why am I working so hard to be a good person and make the right choices and be honest and do the right things when other people in the world are just doing whatever the fuck they want, seemingly consequence free? So I totally get having a moment of being like, you know what? I'm not going to think twice. I'm not going to consider anyone else's feelings. I'm just going to do this thing. And clearly, anyways, it started out nice and then it
did
gaslighting and weird.
He is claiming that Katie is now as big of a fuck up as him. Oh God. Like that math is not that math. It's not the math that he thinks he's mathing,
No. And she nailed him before that little confessional. She reiterates, Tom is like pissed that she fucked his best friend, but also had roasted him for kissing Raquel. And Katie reiterates that she had asked one thing of him at the very beginning of their divorce, which is just not to mess around with someone in the group. And he would not abide. And Tom says, that was a flimsy agreement. And Katie says, this is why we got divorced, because everything I felt was flimsy to you. And I was like, that's it. That is it. That is the truth. And then in the confessional, he says, she had an air of moral superiority. And I'm like, she still does. Like, nobody should have a feel superior about
Right.
anything. But if you're going to call it out, she does. She is morally superior because she didn't betray a direct request. She admits that in the moment she made a choice that is out of character for her, which is why I think it's so easy for them to move on from this, because it's like
Yeah.
Schwartz is secure that she won't do this again. Katie will never know if he'll ever take her seriously
Totally.
or,
Exactly. And then
respect
he's
her.
like, let's go to dinner. She's all, no, I don't really want to. That's not the kind of relationship I want to have with you. He's just, again, he just wants to like gloss over everything and just go to the part where no one's going to ask anything from him and his feelings aren't going to be uncomfortable.
Which was so weird because he started this conversation and he's like, can we not do this? Can we not delve into the past? Let's just shake hands and be cool and have dinner. And she was like,
Dude.
I didn't start this conversation. I don't want to have dinner until you start making better choices. And then she sweetly like disarmed him and she said, with your clothing. And they giggled and it was like civil and borderline cute. And, they managed to have a conversation about something really uncomfortable. And, again, that's like what a year out of a breakup looks like.
Yeah.
So Ariana will get there, but it's still heated and it's still, but it's, it took a year and that's fair.
And then we go back inside where they're eating pizza and Tom and Ariana
loudly.
get into it.
Did you hear that? It was so much like cheese pizza ASMR that I was like,
really? No, I didn't. I just kept trying to see what kind of pizza it was, and it was Pizza Hut. I was all, y'all.
It looked like Little Caesars. It was not like, I know the boxes of all the fancy places, and I was like, this is not that.
Yeah, you can do better than that. You can do
like
better.
Lucifer's or
honestly,
anything. That was
anything.
That's a really weird cover.
Pizza Hut. And listen, there's a time and a place. Like, listen, I love the Bay Area has such amazing pizza, like artisanal fucking pizza. All the good pizza places came from Alice Waters,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a shit ton of like very elevated pizza here. Sometimes you just want a piece of round table with pepperoni, black olives, and mushrooms. But that's not, I don't want round table. When I say I want pizza, I don't mean round table. I mean, I don't,
this whole party was a mess. It started with water tasting and ended with Little Caesars. And it
salty
just was
water tasting and Pizza Hut and no ranch, which gross. The ranch at Pizza Hut is not going to be good ranch.
No.
Honestly. So they get in a huge fight and everyone's just kind of a hostage while they're watching.
This was,
including us. It was real. This was too close for comfort and it was too real for TV.
Yeah.
Reality TV.
They were inside. The girls had been discussing Anne, and Ariana referred to Tom as the attempted dog murderer. And Sandoval walks through right when she says that, and it wastes no time blaming Ariana, saying she left food out in the room. And Ariana corrects him, saying, you went into my room that had the door closed and do not ever do that again. And so it sounds like Sandoval went into Ariana's room without her knowing or permission. And he also locked the dog in her room without her knowing or permission. So she is not at fault. He's completely at fault. And yes, it's gross that she had takeout sitting, but she secured the room from the dog. So I think it's, I don't know how you leave food in your room. I think it's disgusting. But she also was aware of protecting the dog's like health and safety. And Tom is just like very lucky that nothing did happen to the dog. Like he has that gross confessional where he says, there's no dead dog in this situation.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
dude.
You're so lucky. Because that is a thing. Like, it's a wood stick and dogs swallow anything. It's like a very, anyways, they fought and all this other stuff about like the litter box. Tom says, you never clean the litter box. Ariana says she did. He says that's a lie. They roll footage of her cleaning the litter box. It's just so, both of them are so fucked up and deep in this still. It was really painful.
It was. And Lala just starts giving advice no one asked for and having opinions that I don't understand,
Yeah.
So.
Wait, I was just looking at this. I wrote, after Tom's confessional where he said there's no dead dog in this situation, I wrote, I'm so mad This is what I would say to Tom Sandoval in that moment. So hold on while I read these all caps. I said,
Please,
here's the
please.
deal. Here's the deal. People cheat. It happens. But once you've cheated, you have burned all your goodwill. So it may feel unfair that people are coming down on you harshly for things like this that in any other context might not be such a huge deal, but you cheated. So any minor mistake you make, it's like farting in a microphone now. You don't have the luxury of a normal fart anymore. You took that off the table when you took a shit on someone else's life. Your butt is now attached to a microphone unless and until everyone agrees that you can take it away. So that's why I think I'm so mad. It's like he's expecting to be treated normal. But what you did something so not normal that changed everyone's lives. And you're expecting just to like it is a normal accident. Normally I would be like, ooh, that's a bad move, Tom. I'm sure you actually do regret that. That's scary. But because on top of cheating, he's expecting lots of, I don't know, forgiveness and sympathy and space to be human. You used up all your space to be human. Now you have to sit still and wait for everyone to come back to you if they want. You hate him.
He's not giving us any reasons to really have compassion for him.
No. And he again brings up the email, he says, why won't you respond to an email? So this is in a very shitty tone, markedly different from the one he used at Hotel Ziggy when he was like, hey, man, hey, I just want to see did you get the email? Did you get it? And then here he's like, 2 months. It's been 2 months. It better be a good response. It's like, God, this is literally go away. Again, take your purses and go home.
Take your purses. Take your friendship necklace. Take your fucking patchy self-tan. Take your platform sneakers.
Like, can't he understand that her head is still spinning? Her head is spinning.
No, and then it doesn't work for him. She's
just learning that he had an affair, that it was with her friend, that it happened under their roof. And then the next thing she hears from him is, let's sell the house. Here's an offer. Her head is fucking spinning. 2 months is nothing. And you should be willing to wait forever. Or you move out. Like you have a choice here. Like, I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Totally.
Oh, and then she reminds me, left the door open. And she says, just one more fucking example of your carelessness and callousness when it comes to the house that was my dream house and my fucking children, referring to her pets. And that broke my heart. That's the truth. That's the pain under the anger.
Totally.
My house that was my dream house and my fucking children. And he doesn't care about anything. You ruined my life, my home, and then you attempt to kill my dog. Like, these are the statements that, with the anger ripped out of them, it's like there's so much heartbreak. It's so painful. Yeah. And Lala blames Ariana.
Yeah.
This is really, do you feel like Lisa Vanderpump is in Lala's ear? Because the shit she's saying is so producery, don't you think? It's just irrational. Like, didn't you do a trash bag ad? You should know how to take out the trash.
I guess.
It is.
I wonder if it's either, listen, nothing is above the realm of possibility when it comes to LVP. You're right. She is such a producer. So completely could be. I think that it's jealousy. She went through a situation where Randall also cheated on her, but she didn't get anything out of it. She's not getting anything out of that, out of the end of that. She's not even getting sympathy, I would argue. She's
not, because Randall was the reason Ariana got sympathy is because Tom was a good guy. Randall is a known bad guy, a known cheater. Like, it just isn't. It's not the same.
And she wasn't honest about it from the jump
right.
when they first started.
Right.
And then she said it was just like she would laugh at how transactional it was, like a BJ for the PJ and all that stuff.
Right.
So I don't know.
No, there was nothing pure about that relationship that like merits the world going like, you got cheated on? No way. I'm so sorry.
Sour grapes.
Yeah.
Sour grapes to make non-alcoholic wine
is sparkling water.
Is what Lala is drinking right now. So I don't see Lala being yes, she has been sober for almost 5 years. Yes, she says things now that I'm like, oh my God, I really appreciate hearing that. And that is a great perspective. Is she displaying growth? 100%. I feel like the areas that need growth and the areas that need work, the areas that are still sore are definitely on display. Sheena and Lala are jealous. Katie's
Oh,
not jealous.
no, she's not. It's
Katie's just
really.
like, she's living her best life. I'm living my best life. High five. We're opening a sandwich shop. We're going to have tasting number 3 coming up soon. You know, like they're both like pumped. And Katie
Yeah.
isn't doing all the shit that Ariana's doing, but I think Katie feels vindicated because all the shit she saw and tried to get everyone to see, everyone's finally like, oh, shit.
Yes, I think you're right. She does move through the world with like a lot more ease.
She's
of
got a
just like,
lot of ease right
whether
now.
people agree with me or not, they see what is real, and that is relief.
Yeah. Oh, man. But she had to go and fuck a racist. You can fuck anybody. You don't have to fuck a racist, dude.
In fairness to her, it was off camera. It was surely a one-time thing. Nobody could have known Sheena was tracking both locations. You know what I mean?
Good God.
That felt like she said she had an extreme case of the fuck-its. I don't think she considered his racism. I don't think she considered Tom.
You're right.
The whole exercise wasn't being like, I'm going to do the worst thing I can. It's like my year 2013, 2014, the year of fuck it, where I dated everyone terrible, did every drug, and made all poor choices, and had a great experience. And then I stopped after 1 calendar year because it didn't serve me.
Exactly. Man, highly recommend that shit.
I mean, it was a good year. It was fun.
Yeah.
Then we have Sandoval. Schwartz is on speakerphone with Sandoval, who quickly like blames Anne. I mean, this man is just off the goddamn rails.
He
said either me or Anne didn't close the door. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
you can't help yourself.
Dude. No.
Oh my God.
No.
It was so painful.
And
then he blames Ariana. Do you see the rage that comes out of her? That's what I dealt with my entire relationship. And I just wrote, well, then you should have left. We would all feel so sorry for you, but you didn't leave. You cheated for 7 months and probably more if you hadn't been caught. Like, I would have felt so sorry for him if this rage appeared on camera in any other situation and he left because it was too painful to be around that rage. But he didn't leave. He got in the sack with Rachel. Dumbass. And Schwartz, in his typical stand-up guy fashion, says, no comment.
Oh, God, he's so unsatisfying. He's just such a soggy, not even warm French fry. You know?
My sister would say he's a moral invertebrate. It's just true. There's no spine there. It's 100%. Just loose.
Oh, my
loose
God.
Goo. Loose, sweaty, clammy goo.
He's so disappointing. And he's so old to be acting like that.
I know.
I think it's because, Sandoval has, like, the entire time he's been on this show, he's shown us who he is. You know, it's all been performative. Schwartz, I don't know. It's just, it seems like there's like a little bit, a little kernel in there that gives us hope. And so he's just like, when he disappoints us as viewers, it's like way harder to stomach than when Sandoval does, because Sandoval, you don't expect much from him.
True.
So, but Schwartz that also could be that I fell for his manipulation. Like, it's all part of it. So
I think, it's probably one and the same. I think it's like he wants to be the guy that he's pretending to be.
Yeah, he does.
Those moments during that breakup season with him and Katie, where he can be so fucking mean. He was so cutting and awful to her.
Yeah.
And not that she was nice, but that doesn't justify.
No.
Oh my God. I remember it took my breath away. I wish I could remember the actual comments, but a couple times I was just like, stunned by how direct and harsh he was. It was targeted and it was thoughtful and it was intentional and it was
emotional warfare.
Yeah.
You're right. Thank you for scaring me straight. You're right. You absolutely, yes, you just scared me straight. You're right.
We have Sheena's confessional where she says, it's best to process these feelings and move on with your life. And that's where we talked about this before. You can't bypass the anger part. of the grief process. And it's
You can't.
big. It's really
It
big.
is. It's
And if you
big and it's
can't handle it,
inconvenient and so
yep.
fucking sorry.
And
Right.
you need to go away. Don't rush her through it. You go away for a
Right.
year and come back
Yeah.
when the heat has gone down. Don't rush
Right.
someone through that shit. It's
No.
pointless.
No. God.
Ugh.
Ew. Ew.
What?
No, just the next note I have is when Kyle and Sandy and Schwartz are out at that bar and they're walking. Are we okay to leave the worst, like
I'm
the water
happy.
tasting? Okay.
Yeah.
When the three of them were like walking down the street to come to the bar, like I love a vintage shirt look. And when Schwartz had like the baseball jersey on, I was like, oh, he looks kind of cute. And in spite of myself, I was like, ew, I don't want to think this man is cute.
Wait, I feel like you got a bonus scene.
Oh, it's because I watched it on Peacock.
Oh, I didn't see the scene. What happened?
Oh, okay. So after they leave the abomination of the water night
tasting. Yeah.
and the water tasting, in the extended and uncensored version that I watched on Peacock, Kyle Chan, Tom Sandoval, and Schwartz go to a bar later on that night. And Schwartz looked real cute in his, like, he was wearing a white baseball jersey with like a 70s baseball jersey with like black sleeves. And I was like, oh, he looks kind of adorable. Like if I was passing him on the street, I would be like, oh, But then he and Tom started talking about the singles night again at the bar, and I was all like in my mouth. I was just like, ugh. And then I'm so sorry you didn't see this, because Tom starts talking about Ariana and like the kitty litter and like again the dog thing. And basically, in my opinion and from my experience, he was describing someone with depression. And I'm pretty sure that Ariana has talked about her own depression on the show. I don't like him because he, like he's putting someone down that has like a mental illness, and he's calling her lazy. And he does not have any sympathy in his body. He cannot hold someone else's humanity with any kind of respect or compassion. And I just thought he was disgusting.
Well, and even more so, it just sounds like he can't look at himself. And it's like, we talk about that a lot with our dads. Like, it's the lashing out has more to do with the discomfort of knowing the harm you've caused and having to look at that.
Yep.
If you don't know that it won't break you, it feels like it'll destroy you. So you just make everyone else the bad guy. You can find ways to always be a victim. And it disconnects you from lots of people and lots of feelings and lots of joys, because it's just not honest. That's gross. God,
totally.
Gross.
Yeah, it was a gross scene. It was gross.
Yeah, because the next thing I had was Sheena's beach day, the ramp up to Sheena's beach day with Katie. I loved Katie's text where she says, should we go to this thing or just fake our deaths? And I was like, hee hee hee.
I know.
That was funny. And
so
Ariana said, yeah. Oh, sorry. No, there's more?
No, did you not see the dinner then between Allie and James and Jacqueline, James's mom, and LVP?
Did I fucking miss like a whole, what happened? Okay.
James's
mom, LVP, Allie, oh my God.
And James's mom. So they
How
go to
did this
dinner
get cut out?
On Nick's on Beverly. This was on Peacock, and it was, again, it was called Extended and Uncensored. So it was like 56 minutes with no ads.
Woo.
So listen, all I got from this is that my notes from this one, when they go to dinner, is that Jacqueline, who's James's mom, hugs Lisa Vanderpump before she hugs James, which is that's weird, right?
Yes.
And then James and Allie sing for their proverbial supper by laying down all of the raw, still pulsating carcass of gossip that they've witnessed between the water dinner and whatever. They lay it at the slobbering feet of Lisa Vanderpump, and she eats it all up. And James's mom is like so stoked that Katie got to like bang it out with Max. She's like, high five for Katie banging it out with Max. And,
ew.
I know. It was just really, yeah.
The fact
And
that
then
Lisa Vanderpump wants to hear any of that stuff is just so gross. But anyways,
oh,
totally in
she
character.
loves it. Right,
I know.
right, totally. And then did you see Ariana and her interior designer going through the house and like
Yes.
listing all the stuff? Yeah.
Oh,
So
yes.
that again, not much to say on that other than like, you know what? She's going to have all day, every day to do that kind of shit. She'll do it. She'll
As
give you the,
she should.
exactly.
She would be a fool not to. And
Mhm.
Tom Sandoval
Mhm.
is expecting her to be a fool because he's an asshole.
Because he's short-sighted.
But in between that, there was the scene with Brock and Sheena that starts with Brock feeding Summer fruit and then Sheena desperately trying to steer him. I was going to ask you because you're a parent. It looked like she was trying to steer Brock away from saying the word beach in front of Summer. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was like that would lead her to a meltdown probably. Like, I want to go.
I know. And it's like, I was so torn because, listen, have we told non-truths to our son? Absolutely. Would I feel bad going and doing something just Josh and me when Leo can't? Definitely. Do I think that there is value to helping children navigate feelings of disappointment with not getting to do everything that everyone else gets to do? I do. Do I think that there's value in, showing the child, like, your mom and I have to go to work, your dad and I have to go to work. That includes going to the beach or whatever. Like, I think that there is value in all of that. So I don't know. But yes, I was like, what? I see where she's coming from and I see where he's coming from. And oh God, so it was,
And I thought
saw
he
it.
found kind of like a nice happy medium where he's like, we like to have fun and you like to have fun. I don't know.
Yes.
But I did think it was interesting that they're still looking for a nanny. And Brock mentioned he owned some of these F45 studios, which are like incredibly popular here. I was surprised. Like they're
I don't know
huge,
what they are.
They're these like 45-minute high intensity workout places, but they're really popular and like super successful. There's a bunch of them around the city. And he said he sold his during the pandemic and wants to start his career again. But I didn't realize like he was invested in such a successful business. Impressive.
I didn't either. Did not know that. I liked how he was doing Summer's makeup. I really thought that was just so sweet. It was so sweet. The continuity in that scene was terrible. There was
all
like
over
makeup
the
in
place.
front of Summer, and then there was like the huge fruit, and then there were just like little plates of fruit. It was awful continuity, but it was a good scene.
It was adorable.
Yeah, agreed.
And I did think Sheena, who I don't normally care much for, but she did have a point. Sheena had suggested maybe they uninvite Sandoval, and Brock said Ariana needs to figure out how to deal with being triggered by him. And Sheena, explains that she's triggered because of what Sandoval did to her just mere months ago and reminds Brock that he gets heated real quick. So he's not someone to judge Ariana for snapping into anger with someone who she hates. And in fairness to Brock, he that's what you want to see is someone just go like, I do get like that. Okay.
Yeah, he did. And yes. I clocked it.
And then he annoyed me a little because he like explained what forgiveness is, that she should let it go for her own sanity. And again, I'm just like, sure, but it takes time.
Yes.
You can't just command a woman to get past it for her own sanity. We know we don't want to feel insane, but you have to ride the ride.
Right.
There's no amount of money or endorsements or any of that stuff.
Say that in 5 years. Say it in maybe, I don't even know if a year, but like forgiving him is not going anywhere.
And
forgiving
she will,
him for the
and
benefit
she
of
wants
herself
to.
isn't going anywhere. Right. And she does. And she will. Everyone needs to get the fuck over it. Like the paint isn't dry yet.
And I guess what I really see is that she's trying. She is showing up to these events. She's not initiating any of these conversations about like this fucking piece of shit. People are asking her or he's starting it or whatever.
Right.
And then Sheena makes the statement that the breakup has brought Ariana prosperity, wealth, happiness, and opportunity. And I was like, except happiness. No. Prosperity, wealth, opportunity, sure. But it actually stole her happiness and all the things we talked about before, her security, her love.
Exactly.
And she's bankrupt on the trust front. Like it fucked her. So everybody needs to stop looking at a bank account as a sign of like okayness. You're not okay. And I think that's a problem in the mental health understanding anyway. People think if you have glossy things and your life looks nice on Instagram, that you shouldn't have problems. You have all the things I want, so you shouldn't have problems. And then those people
Right.
don't talk about their problems because they're ashamed that they have them. And then they do self-destructive shit, and it's sad.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that Sheena was right earlier, and now she's wrong.
Right.
So then Ariana and Lucinda inventory all their furniture, and then we head to the beach.
And James is not wrong about going to the beach. Going to the beach is a fucking, you don't just like, oh, let's go to the beach. Like maybe if you live really close to the beach and you walk, but like depending on where you live, it's going to take you a really long time to get there. You need a shit ton of stuff if you want to be comfortable. Like, yes, I'm sure there's people that just go with like a towel and their bathing suit and they stop at Subway on the way. That's absolutely fine. That's fine. I need sunscreen, water, drinks, snacks, a towel, shade. Like you all need a fuck ton of stuff to go to the beach. It is so, I would get anxiety over going to the beach.
Yeah. I mean, in the 90s, when I was a kid, that's what it was. You just grabbed a towel and you got a sandwich on the way. But that was before we understood that we were giving ourselves skin cancer. And like, you do need all of these. And that water, you didn't drink water in the 90s. Who gives a shit? You just like, dehydrate and have a Coke on the way home. Like,
exactly.
But now there's, a lot more consideration. And for me, I don't mind going to the beach and setting up all this stuff. It's the end of the day, breaking it all down and taking it back to the car, sandy and tired.
Yeah,
that is the part. The tired part at the end of the day is what kills me. Plus it's over and I get like a big emotional, like my heart hurts when like I've had a good day and it's over. And then the added insult of having to carry all my shit back to close down my fun day is,
Oh God.
It's
no, totally.
It's a whole thing. And I did love that the production made them do it all. Because I would have thought production would just set them up at the beach and then they'd just show up. But they were like, no, you guys carry your giant tent and you set it all up. And I love that.
I asked Josh last night when we were watching, am I high maintenance? Because I agree with James. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. You know what? It's fine. I don't care. I am high maintenance. I am high maintenance. I need a lot of shit to be at the beach and be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially for a whole day. If you go for like a couple hours, just like get some sun and listen to the waves, no big deal. But this whole thing, anyways.
Yeah.
Everyone starts arriving, and Ariana, this made me laugh, said she knows Sandoval is coming because she saw his stripy crochet thing in the dryer, and I laughed out loud.
That was so funny.
And lo and behold, he walks up in his stripy crochet thing to announce that he's going to a singles event on Saturday. He's so rude. He's just
Why would he talk about this in front of her? Like, so fucking rude. And Sheena also to be like, what are you guys talking about? Like, just get up and go over to those blankets and talk with them.
Part of me is like, they should call him out. You can't just like turn your butt to everyone and be like, yeah, we're going to a singles event. It's like the girl you destroyed 3 months ago by sleeping with her best friend is sitting right there. So like, if you're going to have the balls to talk about it, talk about it. Use your whole voice. Say it with your chest, as the kids say. Come on, man. Don't be if you're going to show up to this event and this is what you choose, there's so many other things to talk about. But if you're going to choose this, then like, let us see your whole ass. And he sure did show it.
He really did. Tom says he and Katie are the same. And I just said he is in denial. And his faithful joke was really in poor
Claiming
taste.
to be statistically faithful is not the concept behind fidelity.
It's really not. Like, okay, so yeah, it's just.
And there are other ways to have a marriage. You can have a marriage where faithful means a different thing. But Katie had one understanding of the definition and you violated that. So you're not the same. So that's all. Oh, he's so gross. I'm glad it went over like a wet fart. And then we seem to catch Sandoval in a lie. Is that what happened? Because Sandoval said he never knew that Schwartz had kissed Sheena. But then we flash back to Tom Schwartz saying Sandoval just brought it up. Or I guess I told Sandoval or something.
I think I think he was lying. Like, no, I didn't know about that.
God, so, like trying to do for Schwartz what he wanted Schwartz to do for him.
Right. Trying to bro code.
So
totally.
Gross. God, what a mess.
I have a note. I'm sorry. Brock brings up Raquel and there's more proof that he is a piece of shit, that he's not. He's complicated. Brock is complicated of all people.
See, this moment didn't bother me. Because part of me is like, it's also why I appreciated James. the part of what will help everyone move past this is just starting to talk about it out loud in front of each other instead of gossiping behind
Yeah,
backs.
I guess I can see that. I can see that. I
And
can see
his
that.
dumbass wife is what started it by saying, I mean, Brock could have had a real different reaction to Sheena saying, everyone in this group flirts with me. If I were her husband, I might have a different reaction than
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
jovial haha response. I'd
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
this is gross. And Sheena directly calls out Sandoval, and Sandoval says, well, I was just reciprocating your flirting. And then Brock says, is that what you told Raquel when you started that whole thing?
Yeah.
But again, I guess this is where I'm just always on the side of honesty. That happened. And for Sandoval to be like, dude, that's low hanging fruit. I'm like, you made the fruit and you put it at the bottom of the tree. So
I think that I thought it was déclassé because it was hurtful to Ariana. To like, that's why I thought it was déclassé.
Point taken. Yep.
To Sandoval, no.
You're
but
right.
To Ariana,
To be so flippant like that.
To be so cavalier about it.
I see. Yep.
You know, at this point, it felt like it was a real piece of shit move.
You're right.
On Brock's part.
And Ariana, that makes, she had the reaction to warrant.
Like,
warranted.
Hey, can you guys not talk about this
in front of me? Yeah.
Right.
She didn't, again, she didn't say, don't talk about it. She's not, she's just like.
She's like, literally, I'm right here, you guys. Could you
and
not?
And then Tom goes, he brought it up. And Ariana's like, well, the subject matter is because you did this thing. This is a disgusting conversation because of you.
Yeah. Brock's glasses are also not okay.
Oh, I didn't notice them. What are they?
They were just
were they like super thin?
No. And they were like they were like the super big version of the super thin. Like they were just not cool. They were not. And I love a bold eyeglass choice. Like I fucking love a bold frame, a bold tint or whatever. But no, it was bad. It was bad.
Brock's, he dresses unintentionally for comedy.
You're right.
You know, he's like when he was having that fight with Sheena, wherever they were in a hotel room, and he was wearing like a Speedo and a robe and like a Speedo and a duster, and his teeny tiny shorts at the beach were making me laugh. He's just kind of a ridiculous character, you said.
He is. You're right. Tom and Ariana fight again, and then Lala and that one guy show up. I don't remember his name.
I don't remember
What is that guy's
either.
name?
I forget.
That's the guy that James was friends with, right? That
the kiss? They kiss?
Wait, that's not Logan, right? Logan
is no idea.
Ariana's best friend. I don't know who it was, but I just said Lala and that one dude show up. James's hair looks like Wolverine in the confessionals.
Oh yeah.
It looked like Wolverine, like it looked like it
was really weird.
Founding Fathers kind of bad hair, but also Wolverine hair. It was bad.
It had a very distinct shape.
Yeah.
Which was very odd.
Flat and weird. Yes.
Like it was like a bowl that caught a gust of wind or something. Yeah. It was very strange.
Yeah. It took me out a little bit. Took me out enough. Ariana's pissed that her guy friends are not sticking up for her when it comes to Tom. And she's also pissed that Lala is playing fucking devil's advocate. And I get it. And Lala does not get to say when Ariana chooses inner peace. Ariana gets to choose when she does that.
And it's been
Are you
3
fucking
months.
kidding me? It's been 3 months. And 10 years of her life just blew up.
And it's and her whole friend group blew up. It's not Rand who just drifts away. We don't need Rand. He's not part of this group. This is a whole like recalibration of every aspect of her life, and it's awful.
It's awful.
Yeah. This was
I was real disappointed in her.
Yeah, Lala. That's why I wondered if like LVP is like, somebody needs to take Tom's side. Will you do that? And I'm sure she was probably like, yeah.
I don't know. She just, was it Reddit? I saw something on Reddit, or I'm pretty sure it was Reddit. Oh, God, see what happens when I go and see my family is that like, I don't watch fucking TV. I don't look at Reddit. Net, Lala had Heather McDonald of all the low barrel guests to have on her podcast. She had her on, and I think she was talking shit about Ariana. And Lala's having some. She's she's a little activated by the success that Ariana is having, as
Yeah.
opposed to
Well,
what
and
she's
I noticed
experiencing.
that because it's hard to miss. And it made me think about like, what is that? Because obviously, if I'm reacting to it, it has something to do with me. And
Yep.
it's just that she won't look at herself. It's that whole
Yeah.
thing of like, you're not looking at honestly at what you're not parallel stories. Like yours is really different. And you can be jealous, but you don't have to be mean. Anyways.
Dude. Yeah. I just,
Yeah.
everyone's a work in progress. Everyone's a work in progress. And
Except Tom Sandoval, who just seems to have
mm,
dug his feet in to be a dickhead.
I mean, the thing is that if I know I have an audience, I'm not going to say shit that I would say if I didn't have an audience. He does, because he's divorced from reality and he doesn't see how his actions are abominable. And I just feel like when you've got an ego like that, via con Dios, like like you're making these choices. You're saying all the stuff out loud on film
Yes, you're
for us to
manufacturing your own
remember.
misery. It's like,
Exactly. Like what? Like you're doing this to yourself because you don't know how not to. And
you
that's what's so disturbing about him.
truly. And that, I was listening to Nick Vial's podcast the other day,
Oh my
and
God.
not all of it because I can't, but he did mention that he said he feels sorry for Tom Sandoval. He pities him because Tom Sandoval really cannot see. It's what you always mention. He's constitutionally incapable of being
Yep.
honest. And that is going to destroy him. And Nick Vial found it pitiful. And I was like, that's a good way for me to look at Tom Sandoval. Instead of just
Totally.
getting outraged every time, I can just pity him because he's sick and
Totally.
lost, and that's his lot in life. That's it.
It's so
Um,
true. He's right. Oh my God. I'm agreeing with Nick Vial of all people.
I mean, he's actually his voice drives me crazy because it sounds like he just woke up and like everything is like who kind of nobody gives a shit. And to me, someone to whom everything is too important, everything is so important, it has to be screamed about. So
I get
Nick
it.
Vial is actually really smart, but his delivery makes me mad because I'm like, I want you to care more about the smart things you're saying.
You know why you and I have to scream?
Why?
Because no one listened to us
No.
growing up.
I remember screaming one time and not being listened to. I stood between them and screamed. I was crying. I screamed, "Stop fighting." And it was like I was invisible. I was a ghost. They just
Right.
kept going. And then I walked away and that was it. You're right. That was the
Right.
last time I screamed
Yeah.
because it was futile
Yeah.
and it was so
There's,
important and nobody listened. So I was like,
you're just, I mean, the fact that my voice was raised was acknowledged, but what I was saying, like, it didn't matter.
right.
No one heard. No one heard us. So yeah, you have to fucking scream and repeat yourself and, repeat yourself over and over. Cause no one is going to hear me. No one is going to hear me.
Yeah.
Vanderpump Rules, y'all, an hour and 40 minutes. And I could take a Silkwood shower right now.
I know. I
You
did
know?
just want to touch down on one
Oh,
last
please,
Sandoval thing that
please,
he said
please.
in his confessional that he says as if Ariana's at fault. He says, I had this delusional idea that we'd be even more civil breaking up than Tom and Katie. And I just wrote, totally delusional. And again, you could have been, if you hadn't cheated, you could have been the North Star for a civil breakup, but you fucked Raquel, made Ariana goes to couples counseling, let her believe things were getting better. Then she found a video of you having FaceTime sex with her friend. So yeah, dude, you're delusional.
While she's doing, like she's doing egg retrieval and
I
freezing.
know.
So
Just at
right.
his behest. She didn't
And
want
she
to. He
doesn't want to
wanted the
have
kid.
kids, but
Right.
she's like, listen, I'm going to keep it as an option. So yeah, dude.
And
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I did appreciate Ariana calling out directly, imploring the guys to step in to keep Sandoval in check because he's such a misogynist that he requires men to tell him
Yeah,
to back
dude.
off and be respectful. And then she had a couple more things that she said that were like, again, if you strip the anger out of them, it's heartbreaking. She said, he has no problem talking shit about me. He's the one who ruined my entire fucking life. And like she was screaming it, but like the truth of that statement, that's the truth. And that is devastating. The man you loved and did everything for has no problem talking shit about you in front of other people. he ruined your life and he could care less. He finds you annoying. It's
Oh
so
my God.
painful.
It's so painful.
Oh, man.
It's so painful. Oh
Anyways.
my God. Wow. This is just not a fluffy show.
No, but I really, again, it's like especially for our purposes, it's really
Right.
truthful to the experience of like going through a breakup, either as the person going through the breakup or as their friend. It's just a reminder
Mm-hmm.
to me of like, to be patient with myself on either side of that. Like everybody, it's such a tender, devastating time. And like
It is.
everybody, yeah, this group is really trying to rush along to the good part. And it's
Yeah.
like there's no rushing. The road is the road. And you just have to stay on it. And
People
if
really hate being uncomfortable.
I do too.
I do
But
too.
I'm impressed with Ariana for like being articulate about what's uncomfortable in front of people who are saying like, just get over it, just move on, learn how to have conversation,
Yeah.
talk to him, find inner peace,
Yeah.
forgive him. And she's like,
I
I
mean,
can't right now.
God,
I
dude.
can't.
Seriously. I'm
And
yeah,
she's
Lala on her
constantly,
moral high ground is not sitting well with me. It feels real lack of humility and it feels really self-centered.
it's ugly. It's
It
really
is, yeah,
ugly.
yeah, it is. It's uncomfortable. Man, what else did you watch this week?
This week, I watched The Valley, which is, I still don't know I don't know. I don't know really still who anyone is or what's going on, but I'm like slightly riveted. So I don't know what to say about it. It's a vague thing that is still catching my attention. I watched Summer House. I watched Summer House Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. So
Yeah.
all bravo. This week, all bravo. How about you?
I watched, I think, the first 2 or 3 episodes of Quiet on Set, and it's
Oh, God.
really, it's devastating. It's very devastating. Oh, I think I watched like 1 or 2 episodes of 90 Day Fiancé: The Single Life. Yeah, it's just, trust me. Like if you haven't started, there's no need. Like do not fuck your mind up with that. It's so stupid. I needed something low stakes and entertaining. And I don't remember what I was doing that I needed it. Yeah, it's so, eh, yeah, like
Yeah.
abandon
I've,
hope, ye all who
yeah,
enter the 90 Day Fiancé franchise and
that's
their
the thing.
offshoots.
So many people
Yeah.
have told me to watch it. So many like podcasters that I love recap
Yeah.
it, but I just
I
can't
mean,
touch it because
it's,
it's too dark. Like I need to have some hope. And
yeah,
I know for a fact that will strip it all away. And I know it's just a reality show, but like
no,
it's
it's,
enough to like if you're teetering on the edge, it's the little breeze that'll blow me into the
yeah,
abyss. And I
yeah,
don't want that. So
yeah.
and it's
And
always people who are in like stable relationships who are like, you should watch it, you love it. And I'm like,
yeah. And
no.
I learned the hard way. Like I can't watch the original 90 Day Fiancé. Like I guess I kind of can, but like The Single Life or Happily Ever After, those I can watch and it's more fine, in quotes.
Mm-mm.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched basketball, but I need to catch up on Summer House. I need to start Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot. I think it's because after last Thursday, I was editing. Another technical thing happened. It sucked. And then I had to pack. I just didn't sleep the night before we left for Portland because we had to leave for the airport at 8:30. And I was up packing I hate packing. I've talked about it before. It is a huge, it is just, it's so daunting to me. And I was just like, well, fuck it. I'm not sleeping. And so I just edited and didn't sleep and packed. And then, so I missed Summer House because Summer House is on last Thursday and I just didn't have the time to watch it. And then life was happening in Portland, dinners and Easter
Yeah.
egg hunts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, Summer
So,
House will wait.
yes. And I love being able to bank episodes and also to watch them on Peacock. Don't have to watch commercials and all that crap. So,
Yeah.
and what was your antidepressant this week?
My antidepressant this week is my niece and nephews. I'm just so
Mm-hmm.
proud of them. I love them so much. They're just amazing. My littlest nephew is like, he's becoming like kind of a golf king. He's like really gifted at it. And I know he's making it look easier than it is. Like, I know how hard he's trying. And but he makes it look effortless. And I think that is the sign of like, I don't know, a champion. So I
Hell
love him.
yeah.
My middle nephew is starting to get into colleges. I'm so proud of him. He'll have choices. Like, it's really exciting. And then my niece, I got a lot of time with her this week. We talked on the phone a bunch. And then in the mail, so my niece is 19. She's not of a generation that sends mail, but she sent a card of like a
that's
bear
so
hugging a girl.
cute. Oh.
And I'm sure I'm the bear in this picture, and it makes me so happy. It's just a bear like hugging a little girl like this, like, I don't know, just like a deep embrace that is full of love. And that is how I feel about her. I just adore her. And I'm just so proud of all of them. Like, growing up is like hard. And they're so
Dude.
brave, and they do lots of things and try lots of things and have their feelings, and like they're just such impressive people. I just feel like there's very little in my life I'm sure of, except that I hit the jackpot as an aunt. I just know that.
Totally.
My whole body and soul feels settled on the planet when I think about like those three people. So those are my antidepressants.
I agree. My antidepressant also is, we went up to Portland for most of Leo's spring break. My mom had a huge brunch, lots to see, like lots of family and lots of friends, and all of the kids were there. And Leo was the youngest there this year. And but he's like now old enough where even like hanging out with the teenagers, like there's a place for him. All these kids are like such good kids. And we got to go to see my niece at work. And then she and I went to Ulta that night, and I bought her a bunch of stuff, which is what I used to love doing with my aunt, just going to the mall with her just one-on-one when I was younger. And it was so fun. And it was just like some of the most happy memories. And she and I were in Ulta for like, I don't know, like 2 hours, but it's like, it's our happy place, seeing that younger generation be free from the bullshit that we were all raised with for the most part, like the truly toxic parts. Me, my sister, my friends, like we all broke generational traumas.
Yeah.
And so this generation that we're watching grow up, generations, I don't know which one's a Z, which one's an alpha. It's just really heartening, and it's weird to feel like the old person now.
I know.
Because it still feels like so close in my rearview mirror when someone was like, "Oh, you're just growing up to be such a great young person." And I'm all, And now I'm like, oh my God, I'm the same person saying that shit. Like, is what I'm saying to them going to sink in? Maybe it will. They seem different. They seem different than we were as young people.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, they do. I think what's like amazing and so challenging is like, I think you're right. Lots like our generation, we did a bunch of work on ourselves. So we're not passing along the same traumas, but they have their own. And I'm so mad at the world for like not being gentler with people who are so deserving of like ease and joy all the time. God damn it.
Yeah,
but that's life. That's what connects us. We're all human, and that
exactly.
It's all of those feelings that are, keep the playing field level.
Totally.
So, they get to be anxious and depressed about different things.
Social media.
Hey.
Great.
Wonderful.
Yes. Thanks, universe, for the nieces and the nephews.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Another super long episode of A Therapeutic Dose, because Vanderpump Rules clearly triggers a lot in the both of us, activates a lot, touches on a lot, we can relate a lot. So thank you for listening. And again, rate, review, subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at A Therapeutic Dose. You can find me at Lady_Higgy. Margee, would you like to give out your socials?
Oh, sure. I'm at Margee McGee or at Evelyn_wears_outfits.
Yes. And
those
Evelyn
are just
has
a
TikTok
dog
too,
and
right?
Evelyn has TikTok and YouTube.
Yes.
She's a multi-platform dog and outfits. So
she's doing better than me. Yeah.
She's ridiculous. But everyone take care of yourselves.
Yeah.
And we will talk next week.
Hang in there, everyone.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Ramona and Margee are
obviously
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.